Hello there. This week I've had more messages about local body politics than I've had in a very long time, and they are all focused around what on earth is happening in Gore, which is fascinating to sit down and watch. So, for those of you that don't know, and I'd be surprised if there's anyone who doesn't know at the moment, the council down there have banded together and asked for the mayor to resign. Now, Ben Bell, who's the mayor, is the youngest mayor in the country. He won by the slimmest of margins in the country as well. And he's come into basically a group of very established councillors who don't seem to like him very much at all. At the same time, there's been claims of some sort of bias. It's been very obvious that he and the CEO do not have a working relationship to speak of. And this week, Newsroom released a story talking specifically about the toxic environment that the council there has for its employees. A lot of toxicity there. There's a lot of interesting factors here, but we don't really know the full story. Like, it feels kind of anticlimactic if the full story is they just don't like this guy, so they need to get rid of him. And it could be that. It just seems kind of anticlimactic. And it's really fascinating as well. There's actually a lot of research out there about the idea of an elected body with people you don't agree with being better in terms of outcomes for their constituents, because these people have to find a middle common ground to work together towards goals, ending up with results that are better for everyone. At the same time, writing a letter saying we don't like you, go away is not really grounds to get rid of somebody, full stop. Councils, though, that's nothing to do with getting rid of people. You can't, like, it's not going to work for the simple fact that our law is not set up that way. You can't just fire an elected member, which I've gone over many, many times. Now, the council has asked whether or not the commissioners could be set up if the local government minister gets brought in on this because Ben refuses to leave. But it's a really strange, toxic environment for them to be in. Also, if they're going to bring in commissioners to get rid of somebody they don't like, maybe we should start bringing in commissioners to look at councillors who are spreading dangerous disinformation out there. Because there are some. I mean, for example, you've got people like Kane Titchener from Te Awamutu, who last year was putting out the illegal image of a baby as part of a family court issue. That conspiracy theorist jumped on board. You've got Sally Whitaker, also from Te Awamutu, who's been spreading dangerous disinformation around trans kids. So has Jaspreet Boparai from Southland. Gil Booth from down south somewhere as well has also been spreading dangerous misinformation. You've got Tane Webster from Taranaki, who's also been spreading a whole bunch of stuff out there about trans people. Maybe we should be looking at what they're doing, which could actually harm the community, versus we don't like to work with this individual, so you should probably just go. It's not how democracy works. You need to find a middle ground to work in. And if you're not happy with how the people of Gore have voted, then you need to bring it up with the people of Gore and maybe leave or find a middle ground. It's very complicated, very confusing, very fascinating. Now, there's a story coming out, I think, on Sunday this weekend about what's going on down there as well. Be very curious to have a look and see just what it is that these people are up against, because there's some interesting, nasty, awful stuff going on there, and it will be very curious to see. I'll be very curious to see how that plays out in the future and how that affects other local body councils and how they work with people that they don't necessarily agree with.